My name is Katie Rhines. I'm a registered dietitian and fitness instructor. One of my best friends is training for the Chicago Marathon, and I have a great friend who is an avid cyclist, and I've really been trying to improve my endurance to keep up with him. Today, I'm going to be going over 11 tips to improve endurance. Starting off with the basics, how do we train? How do we train to get better? Well, let's first of all get started. If we're training for something like a marathon, just running those long distances is going to help us to get ready for the race. Otherwise, if we're trying to really get faster, I have to recommend the talk test. When you're on your walk, your run, your bike ride, can you sing happy birthday comfortably? If you can, you're probably not working hard enough, you're probably not going fast enough. Go up those hills, get at it, get uncomfortable. It will be difficult. Laugh at the struggle, know this will help your endurance. Lastly, try doing intervals. For endurance particularly, 75 seconds of work with 15 seconds of rest is recommended by the American Council on Exercise, as well as over 12 reps for muscle conditioning, 12 to 20 reps, with less than 30 seconds of rest in between. Did you know that our working muscles are 70 to 75% water? Yes, my next tip is hydration. So necessary for temperature regulation as well as maintaining blood pressure. This can vary a lot though, how much we need to drink depending on the weather, how humid it is, and do you sweat a lot compared to other people? There's a lot of genetic variability here. The best recommendation that I have for you, making sure your urine is a clear to lemonade shade of yellow. We do not want apple juice colored urine. When we are doing these long-term, like over an hour races or trainings or events, making sure we also have electrolytes being replenished. Electrolytes can get excreted from the skin as well as water when we sweat. Electrolytes like sodium and potassium, these are really important for blood health and muscle contraction. If we're low in these things, we might experience twitching, cramping, and this even can affect the heart as well. So the heart is a muscle, so it is important. However, don't be going to the Gatorades, the color dyes, additives, refined sugars. This is a great recipe which is called, I like to call it Dietary. 2 cups of water, half of a lemon juiced, 2 to 3 dates, and a pinch of salt. Blend it up and you've got yourself a perfect pre, during, and post-workout that's full of electrolytes, simple sugars, antioxidants, and it helps refresh you and it tastes great. Before you train or do your event, try and drink about 3 to 4 cups of water, and during the event, again depending on how much you sweat, I will recommend about drink a half a cup of water every 20 minutes, generally. After the race, the recommendation is about 2 cups of water for every pound of water weight lost during the event. Just try and pee clear to lemonade shade and get in those electrolytes. For my third tip, I'll be going over how to fuel properly. So this can also vary a lot depending on your body size, how much effort you're putting into it, and the duration of the activity. However, I have to recommend, especially for endurance lasting longer than an hour, a high carbohydrate diet. Carbs are stored as the quickest fuel source. We need carbohydrates to keep that stamina going. We don't want to hit the wall. When we hit the wall and we start using fat for fuel, it's going to slow us down. Also, protein, it can be used as an energy source, but we want our protein to be used as enzymes, to transport nutrients, to rebuild our muscles. We don't want to be using it as energy. If we don't have enough calories from carbs and we switch to protein to be used as energy, protein won't be doing all the other things that it's supposed to be doing. This is a matter of long-term health. If we aren't eating healthily on the day-to-day, if we're not able to rest adequately and we're not really recovering our muscles, then we're not going to have peak performance. So in the long term, the best way to fuel in general is with a whole foods plant-based diet. We want to get in those complex carbohydrates, the whole grains, beans, legumes, vegetables, and fruits. Those are the 4 food groups we're looking for on our plates here. Making sure we're eating enough calories from whole foods, we won't need to worry about if we're getting enough protein because these whole foods aren't just 100% carbohydrates. They're combined with healthy sources of protein, healthy lean proteins, as well as heart-healthy fats that are combined with anti-inflammatory properties, antioxidants, and lots of other beneficial properties that I'll be talking about later on. It is recommended through the American Council on Exercise as well as the Academy for Nutrition and Dietetics Complete Food and Nutrition Guide to about 3 or 4 days before the event. Be sure to increase your carbohydrates to about 80% of your calories. So what do we do the night before our race? Again, that carbo load. Right before the day of the race, even over 80% of the calories from carbs is recommended. Making sure we're topping off the glycogen stores in our liver and in our muscles so that we're able to provide quick energy to our muscles during the race. The day of the race, we don't want to eat anything high in fat, protein, or fiber. We want something that's easily assimilated, that isn't going to cause any fatigue, any bloating, or indigestion. Something that you personally know works well with your body. So this will vary if your event is going to be pacing yourself, not really pushing it too hard. Maybe you're going on a hike, a long day of hiking. Maybe you do want to have a little bit more fat in there. So when you're going super fast, the more intense you go, the more your body is going to use carbohydrates for energy. As we start slowing down, since fat takes longer to digest and to break down, the body will use fat as a fuel source as we go slow. So a common thing that people are a little bit confused about is, are we burning 100% fat and 100% carbs during different times? We actually are able to burn them both at the same time. However, when we're trying to go as fast as we can, the body is going to be using mostly carbs. Hope that makes sense. If your race is in the afternoon, 4 hours away, it's okay to have a balanced meal. However, making sure this is about under 500 calories. We don't want to have any bloating during the race. 1 to 2 hours before the race, I do recommend those simple sugars combined with antioxidants like from fruit. This will be a great way to top off your glycogen stores and not cause any indigestion. Probably 200 to 300 calories would be good. Next tip is what to eat during the dang thing. If you're going all day, if it's like a 5-hour race, who knows? Being sure to have about every hour, maybe 30 grams of carbohydrates. This can look like a large ripe banana, a quarter cup of raisins, or even 5 to 6 dates around every hour is a great way to keep your glycogen stores, to keep your energy going so that you don't have to resort to fat or protein to be broke down to give you energy. And then my last tip for this what to fuel yourself with would be post-workout. I recommend within 45 minutes to get in that source of simple carbs to replenish those glycogen stores, and of course drinking the water, and then afterwards eating that whole foods plant-based diet, making sure we're eating plenty of vegetables, fruits, beans and legumes, whole grains to get in all of the protein, carbs, nutrients that we need. Want a magic pill to get rid of muscle pain? I got you covered. It's called antioxidants. Antioxidants in fruits and vegetables have been shown to decrease perceived muscle pain in athletes. Yes. I'll show this study. Cherry juice compared to a placebo drink was shown to significantly decrease these runners' pain. Their muscle pain decreased a lot. When we're fueling ourselves, making sure we're eating plenty of colors, looking for the reds, greens, blues, yellows, all those different colors are going to give us different antioxidants, and they're going to help prevent the pain, swelling, soreness. Yes. So what is an antioxidant? An antioxidant is something that protects the cell from damage. So it would make sense that the more antioxidants that we're eating, the less muscle pain and fatigue that we're going to have so that we can get back and training even harder, better, faster, and stronger. My next tip, how to improve oxygen utilization. Why is this important? The first step in digestion of carbohydrates, it's called glycolysis. Glycolysis needs oxygen. When we don't have oxygen to start breaking down carbohydrates, we produce lactic acid or lactate. So when lactic acid builds up in the muscles and in the blood, it's going to cause soreness, fatigue, and essentially it's going to make us stop what we're doing. So we want to improve our oxygen utilization as much as we can. Nitrates, which are in vegetables like beets, spinach, and arugula, have been shown to improve oxygen utilization. This study showed that cyclists were able to do the same amount of work, but with less oxygen from supplementing with beet juice. This is an incredible finding. I do recommend going to nutritionfacts.org. He goes over lots of studies on the topic. There's actually nitroglycerin drugs, which are prescribed to people with chest pain to help open up the blood vessels and help to get blood flowing. What is another nitrate drug? It's called Viagra, and it helps a lot with blood flow. So we can go that route, or maybe just try eating some more vegetables. How do nitrates work? Nitrates are converted to nitric oxide by the bacteria in our saliva. So I have to recommend 2 ways to get in those nitrates to start your blood oxygen utilization to start improving. Number 1, eat your vegetables, of course. But number 2, do not use antiseptic or antibacterial mouthwash. It's been shown that when people are using antibacterial mouthwash, the saliva, our bacteria in our mouth, isn't able to do the conversion of nitrate to nitric oxide, and it's not going to have the beneficial effect that you really want. All this great talk about moving around oxygen. Well, what moves around oxygen are hemoglobin. And did you know that hemoglobin has a really similar structure to chlorophyll, which is the dark green pigment in our leafy vegetables? Studies have shown that in anemic rabbits, they were able to significantly improve their hemoglobin count with chlorophyll. It's so insane. So try eating more fruits and vegetables. It has been shown to improve oxygen utilization, so it can't hurt to try. These are not expensive supplements. I'm just talking whole natural foods that you can grow in your garden. And lastly, we don't want to overtrain. Some symptoms of overtraining can be sleep disturbances, a decrease in performance even with continued training, anxiety, fatigue, weight loss. These symptoms can vary from person to person, so it may be hard to diagnose. Making sure that with each extreme intense day that we work out, we should have an easier day. Also, cross-training. So maybe we have a really long run. The next day, maybe we do some muscle conditioning or some yoga or a shorter, faster run. So there's different ways to go about it, just making sure we don't totally burn ourselves out. I know it's difficult for those of us trying to reach our goals, I know, but really, give yourself a break. It's going to help for the long term. How you doing? Today you learned all about the talk test, how to train for an endurance event, how to hydrate properly, get in that Dietary, also what to eat to carbo load, pre, post, and during a workout, as well as preventing muscle pain and soreness, increasing your oxygen utilization, increasing your blood flow, getting those green leafy vegetables in, and of course, making sure we allow ourselves to rest, to cross-train, and give ourselves a break so we don't overtrain. I hope this video taught you something new so that you can improve your endurance. My name is Katie Rhines. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Let me know your comments, concerns, and questions below. Subscribe to my channel. And remember, deep down, I know you might not believe me right now, but you are a morning person. You really are. Rise and shine. Go hard. Have fun training. Bye.